Ok, estamos ao vivo do Rio Webfest para mais um painel. Bem-vindo a todos. É, Hoje estamos com 10 anos da edição de 10 anos do Rio Webfest, com patrocinadora master da Petrobras, a patrocinadora exclusiva do festival. Meu nome é Fernando, eu sou um homem branco, tenho barba, cabelo castanho, estou usando uma camisa marrom xadrez e no fundo da minha casa. Hi everyone, we're gonna start one more panel for Rio Webfest, this 10 years edition this year. So we are really glad to have you guys with us. I will pass the word for the creators. They are here. We have Jonah Simons, Bruno Pimentel, and Art Doyle. Okay, so be welcome, guys. We can start with Jonah, then Bruno, and then Doyle. That's the order here in the YouTube. So we can start, and then after that, we can have a conversation. Jonah, you can start.
Sorry, I was muted. uh, Hello, everyone. My name is Jonah Simmons. I am the creator, producer, and I'm an actor also in Felix Space Pirate, a audio drama about space pirates and their escapades throughout their galaxy. The story follows Felix, a badass female warrior, as she and her crew on the Royal Witch discover the only human any of them have ever met, and they have to decide whether or not to use her skills for their own ends or to help her get home and figure out what's going on with her, because she is, of course, amnesiac. She has no memories. So they have to figure out whether or not they're going to help her or whether or not they're going to use her engineering skills to help themselves. At the moment, the show only has one episode, but it is a award-winning episode at this point, and more episodes are going to start airing on December 28th. So stick around and stay tuned for that.
Thank you, Jonah. If you want to talk more about the project, I have like my 5 minutes for you. It's okay.
5 minutes? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Or less, you choose.
Oh, I can talk. I can talk. I can keep talking. What can I say? It was like the process has been really a really interesting one. Of course, I decided that I wanted to do audio fiction because my ideas are just too big for to do as a short film or to do as a feature film, because as you know, the story is all about space travel and about it's a big sci-fi epic, a big sci-fi space opera, very similar to Firefly or Cowboy Bebop, those classic stories. We tried to go in the feeling of those old radio dramas like Flash Gordon and things like that. But to do that in a film format would cost a massive amount of money, obviously, a huge budget. So to do it in the audio format would help actually tell the story the way that I wanted to tell it. And I love the up and coming audio fiction genre. I think that it's ripe for a popular explosion, basically in the mainstream. And so I wanted to make it in this format, as I said, because I think that like would be the way to tell the stories that I want to be able to tell, because all the characters are aliens, basically. So to do the prosthetics for all of that would be way too much money. And this way we can play with the vocals on the characters to tell that they're aliens. Like I created a character named Dr. Perlisle, and then someone pointed out that that sounds like a cat person, so he rolls all his R's so that he can sound more like a cat, and that way he's more of an alien, you know. So we're trying to incorporate that sort of thing. I play Tim the robot, and Tim speaks in a very robotic tone, of course, and we modulate my voice, but I try to speak in a robot fashion, which can be a lot of fun. And I like being one of the main characters on the show, of course. Rounding out the cast, I described Amira, who the young girl who we don't know her backstory, and we're trying to figure out whether or not to help her or to to use her skills. And then Malkin, the trusty navigator, who's got really big ears and can hear really far distances and radiation and things like that. Felix herself has the ability to hear the future because I wanted to incorporate sound and audio, of course, in it. Instead of seeing it, she's hearing it. So we are experiencing exactly what she is hearing as the listener. We are getting exactly what her premonitions are through the vocal lens, through the auditory lens. And it has been a crazy process to get this off the ground. We had auditions, but I've been part of I live in Winnipeg, Canada. So I've been part of that community of actors for a very, very long time. So it was nice to actually get to use my contacts in that world to bring them together. And then it was a matter of learning how to do audio editing. And that took me like a year to properly get the episode edited and put together. And then I had to find an audio engineer, and I wanted it to sound professional, right? So I found one who could work on the project, make it sound good, and then it was ready for release time. So we released it back in July, and we've had quite a bit of success because the audio award circuit, the audio fiction circuit, the Webfest circuit has been very kind to us, giving us a series of awards just based on that first episode. And again, more is coming on December 28th. We're re-releasing the pilot episode with the second episode at the same time, and then we'll start airing bi-weekly from there. So with 6 episodes in the first season, but I think it's a doozy of a first season. So please stay tuned.
Oh, sorry, my microphone was turned off. And how was the process between the start of production and then being the Rio Webfest? How is for you like being nominated in this audio? Because your project it's an audio podcast, it's fictional podcast, right?
Hmm.
And where we can listen this podcast?
You can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at this point.
Send us the link after in the chat, please.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Thank you, Jonah. I will ask for Bruno right now for his presentation, and then I pass the word for Dial.
Hello, so I'm Bruno from Portugal. I'm the director and editor of American Ghost Hunter in Prague. It's a web series that is not out yet. We are planning to put it online for free on YouTube in February. So right now we have like the first season with 6 episodes. We are still working on the last few of them. We did the mistake of doing with video. It's not really a mistake, but compared to the audio budgeting, it would have made sense. But we did, the script was meant for screen, and it was in a drawer of a friend of mine, and we picked it up and we decided to go with it with a really, really, really small budget. We ended up having like a cast and crew of upwards of 20 people, and it kind of felt like a feature film in terms of dimension, although the idea was to make something simple. But yeah, so American Ghost Hunter in Prague is a dramedy. So it's a drama, but with let's say, disguised as a comedy. And the challenge was to actually make a dramatic series about something that about an American guy that comes to Europe to become a professional ghost hunter. And obviously, for most of the people, I would imagine, don't believe in ghosts. And so that was the very big problem that he found in Europe. And so it's hard for us to relate to that, and that's the challenge we decided to take on, to make the audience feel drama out of an issue, a challenge that we don't really relate to. So it was a fun process. Sometimes we didn't have no cinematographer available. Sometimes I ended up doing the camera work, and I hope that doesn't show too much. But yeah, all in all, we are very happy with the result. We entered in a few festivals, uh, some nominations, and one award for best actor so far, for the main actor, James. Sorry, Jake. His character is called Eugene, and yeah, and that's about it.
That's your first time here in Rio Webfest?
The first time in a Webfest?
In the Rio Webfest, in this Webfest.
Yeah, it's the first time. Yes. It's the first
So
time. Very happy
really
to
glad to
join.
have you guys here. Thank you for sharing with us about your project, and good luck in the awards. I will call so Doyle for speak. So, and then after we have like a conversation between us four. Okay.
Hi, thank you, Jonah, Bruno, Fernando. My name is Richard Doyle. I am the writer and producer of Dr. Good Vibes, which is another audio fiction. It's a dark mystery thriller that uses the sort of narrative framing device of a love and sex advice podcast. So this is something we toyed with and created specifically for the platform of audio fiction. So it's quite embedded in that format and in that medium. Doesn't really work anywhere else. So my co-producer and editor Ramon Sampson, he is an editor who works in animation. So quite talented at creating soundscapes in audio to, well, basically to audio fiction. We thought of it as like an animation without the video aspect. So he was a great person to team up with. We've been longtime collaborators. So when I wrote this script and sent it over to him, he was very excited about it, and we got cracking onto it right away. We had a conversation yesterday and sort of realized it was a year ago, almost to the day. It was a year and 2 weeks since I sent him the first draft of episode 1. I was like, "Hey, is this anything? Do you think this is any good?" And he was like, "Let's make this thing." And by December, we'd started recording. Like Jonah said, I'm extraordinarily lucky to have in Sydney, Australia, which is where I am. It is 3 a.m. here, also, which is why I'm desperately trying to get any caffeine I can down. I'm pretty deep in the improv scene here, so a lot of the people we work with are improvisers or actors who do improv. Yeah, we've got 25-ish, 30-ish characters, and I was so lucky that myself and Ramon, we've been making films for a while, and also I've been doing improv for a while. We had this great talent pool of actors to choose from, and they were so generous with their time and their talent. And we have had a pretty good run. Rio Webfest, it's our first time appearing in this Webfest. It's our first time appearing in any Webfest, and we've had a pretty decent run in the scene. We've picked up a couple of awards in New Jersey and Minnesota, and nominations in Toronto, and we actually flew to the States about 2 months ago because there was a couple of Webfests in short order right after another. Sadly, we could not extend the trip quite long enough to get to Rio. Next year, I swear. But yeah, the whole show is based around the idea that I have this voice and I've sounded like this since I was 15, and people kept telling me I should host a late night radio show. But it's not the field I work in. But I could fictionalize a radio show and then add a mystery and a small town murder and all sorts of fun, sexy drama on top of it. So I mean, all 12 episodes are out now. We dropped our final episode back in November. Back in August, And so if you want to give it a listen, please do. We'll also drop the links in the chat. But yeah, it's sexy, it's mysterious, and it's got a lot of me talking in a deep baritone.
And it's your first time here, and the series is indicated to the best comedy series in Rio Webfest, right?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure about that because I saw that it had a nomination for best podcast director. I'd be surprised if it's nominated as a comedy.
Yeah.
It's got some funny moments, but
okay, now I will open for all you guys to have a conversation because in Real Webfest, networking is everything here. So we have the chance to put all the creators together to share the experience. So if you guys have to a chat, and now you can open the microphone and we can chat all together. Have any question for everyone?
Yeah, well, Doyle, I mean, I'm also in the in Winnipeg improv scene, so it's cool to talk to another improviser. I'm curious what I guess we should keep it to podcasts, but I'm curious what the improv scene is like in where are you in Australia? Are you in Sydney?
Yeah. So we have a couple of big schools here that are competing for a very small pool of audience members. I run an improv show in a pub on a Monday night on a weekly basis, which does okay. Like we've got the Sydney Comedy Festival and we've got the Sydney Fringe Festival. There's an appetite for this stuff for bigger shows. But yeah, there's 2 or 3 schools here that are vertically integrated with their theaters, and a few indie comedy nights that split between stand up and improv. So it's I think we punch above our weight, comedy scene wise. Yeah, and it just means there's an amazing talent pool to draw from if you're in the mix.
Yeah, no,
I was doing
go
I was
ahead,
doing
sorry.
a bit of improv as well in Prague. Now,
Nice.
lately, not so much.
It's a
But
great
actually,
skill.
yeah, it's really fun and it makes you grow. And our main actor, actually, Jake, that I was talking about, he's actually a great improviser, and he has his own group back in Prague, in Czech Republic. But it was funny to get to know that you guys are also in that.
Yeah.
I will now. I'm in Portugal in Aveiro, and I'll be trying to start something like that, but I'm not so sure about the pool here. Not such a big city, but I will do my best because I miss it.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, the scene recently came back in Winnipeg, and we now have improv cage matches. They're called every Tuesday or so, or like this is the 4th cage match so far. I'm competing on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Anyway, something about improv though that works really great for audio fiction is like it helps you, I find, develop like that dialogue writing skill because you get a better idea as to how people talk, because like we obviously are just figuring stuff out on stage, saying whatever comes to mind, and that really helps with the dialogue writing process so that things don't feel as stilted necessarily, and you know how to write things that seem much more realistic. At least that's the way that I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have a question, which is like, you are so Richard, you also do film, or you only work with
Yeah,
audio?
yeah. Me and
You also do.
my
So
yeah, we that's how we met. We worked together on a film he was directing a few years
right,
ago
okay.
now. It's been
Right.
we've done a couple of short films and
Okay, cool.
nothing major. This has been my most critically acclaimed thing. So
Okay, cool.
And Richard, is it just you on the like with the baritone voice on the on the podcast, or do you have guests on the show?
Oh no, we've got the massive cast. All
Oh
those
yeah.
improvisers, I put them to work. Yeah, I think it was about 25 characters across the 12 episodes.
Wow.
Ranging from smaller bit parts to like the main relationship is sort of uh the host Hal, which is played by me, and his producer Katie, who's played by a wonderfully talented actress called Rachel Slee, and they sort of carry the primary narrative through. It's a bit like if you've seen Frasier, the kind of like
Oh yeah.
bantery host producer kind of relationship there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a big cast. We were very lucky with having one, the actors available to us, two, studio space that we were able to get to actually put a lot of the actors in the same room to play off each other, which I know
Mhm.
is not something that always happens in audio dramas.
Yeah.
But it gave us some really great chemistry.
Yeah, I wanted to work in a studio as well. And we did for a little bit. We did at least one in the studio, but well, we actually have we have a at our library here. There's a free whisper room you can use. It's like a sound booth, and so I was using that for a while until I got my sound editor, and then we were going to use a studio, but that cost money. And we found a way to just convert my master bedroom into a studio that works pretty well. So, for all you creators out there, you can find a way, you can put it together pretty easily. And yeah, I wish we could use a proper studio, but at the same time, this is free. So just put some blankets on the windows.
It's something that always happen in festival. All the creators have some troubles. They have to improvise and create something new. So improvise a studio, improvise a video camera or something. It's something that happening in a webby content every time. So it's really nice. I will ask for you guys, like Jonas send a message for the creators. So I ask for everyone, send a message for the creators who are seeing us, and for we can talk about your project and send a message to the creators for we can go into to finalizing the reunion.
Yeah, well, like message for the creators is like you can do it. You can find a way. If you've got a project that you want to see done, you can tap the resources that you've got. Like I'm sure you can find resources like I did with the Whisper Room at the our library here. There are places that want you to succeed. Just take a look out there. Don't stop Googling and tap the resources that you have, and if you've got a story that you're passionate about, try and put it together because and you will most of the time. If you've got a passion for it, you'll find a way. It's my message.
Yeah, I would double down on that last part where you talked about having a story that you're passionate about. I really think that's the key secret to be able to, because all these projects, I think they last much longer than you think, especially if you're involved in the post-production. So you need that passion all the way through the end, because if you don't want to cut corners towards the end. And so that's, yeah, just make sure you find the right story that you are really passionate about. And I think that's how you'll succeed. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a guest on my panel apparently.
You guys have, yeah, Dio, before you send your message, you guys have social media for share for the guys. So
Yeah.
after Dio, they pass your social media, please.
For sure. I was just gonna. I mean, I got to agree with Jonah and Bruno, as you say. I mean, a get it done kind of mentality will pull you through. And you, as Bruno said, the right story makes everything else fall into place. Like you can always find a way, whether you're shooting it on a mobile phone, lit with a second mobile phone, recorded on Timu brand wireless mics. If the story holds up, quite often it'll carry you. And I think what's incredible now for web content is that, I mean, Jonah, Bruno, I think you said neither of you, like Jonah, you've only released one episode. Bruno, yours isn't released yet, but the pathway to audience is already here. You're in the Webfest, you're picking up awards where, you know, the name is out there and people are already engaging with your stories. So when the time comes that you're ready to release, you've created this there's these incredible, like the Webfests, like Rio, and that create a pathway to audience for you. A lot of people do it this way just because they don't want to wait for someone else to give them permission to make something. And this is part of what makes that possible, to get it out to the eyeballs, to the audience that's waiting to receive it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel really lucky to have been a part of as many as I have, and to get so much appreciation, and it's wonderful, you know. Oh, you're muted, Fernando.
Hey Dio, I'm with Ramon in WhatsApp. He's saying he's coming inside the conversation. So
hey, he woke up. Great, you guys get to meet my co-producer and editor.
Okay,
he's a great guy.
He's here. Hey Raymond.
Hey.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late. I had an issue with my alarm. Bloody hell. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's
No
late there.
problem. Okay, I will let Raymond present himself. Yep, you can talk.
Hey. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Introduce yourselves, Ramon. Tell the people about you.
Oh, right. Sorry. I've got like the 3 a.m. brain on going on. I'm Ramon. I'm the co-producer of Dr. Good Vibes, editor. What a start. But yeah, co-producer, editor, and most importantly, friend of Doyle, and I helped put together the show. Basically, was post-production on Dr. Good Vibes.
And how was the process for you, the project, the participation in the Dr. Good Vibes? How was for you being there in the project, being nominated in Rio Webfest? How is being all this craziness for you?
It was good. It was a crazy journey. I was basically with Doyle from like the moment he had an idea for the script. And so he kind of messaged me one day and was like, hey, like I've got an idea for a podcast series. Can you read it? So I was like, yeah, sure. He sent me the script and it was like the best thing I'd ever read of his. He writes a lot of scripts and he comes up with a lot of material. And Dr. Good Vibes at that point was by far the best thing he'd written. And yeah, was basically on board from the very beginning up until the very end. And it was just crazy, being able to work like with a really good friend on a really creatively fulfilling project, and to like be able to take time away from my creatively unfulfilling job and work work on this like incredibly well written, very tense, very comedic series. It's been a joy. It's been stressful as well sometimes. Like I think with the delivery deadlines and curveballs coming up. But I think it's for the most part it's been like an absolute joy, and I feel very lucky.
Thank you, Raymond. Guys, for finish, we are finalizing the reunion. So I will ask for you guys send like a goodbye message and pass your social media for the guys they are watching us. I will share all the links you put in the chat here in YouTube chat for people can access the links too. So we can start like Bruno, Jonah, Doyle, Raymond, and then I finish the reunion in Portuguese because I have to say in Portuguese too. Okay.
Should I speak in Portuguese?
No, I only
No.
I finished the reunion in Portuguese. You guys don't need to speak in Portuguese.
Yeah. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope, I don't really remember any social media, but if anybody is interested, you can look up Volante Films. We have Instagram and Facebook. I'm not sure what else. Or if you look for American Ghost Hunter in Prague, you'll probably find us. Yeah, and yeah, good luck to everybody, and keep creating.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Keep creating. I just put my link tree with all of our social medias on Space Pirate Radio in the chat, so you can check that out. That we've got Instagram, Facebook, a Patreon that no one's using yet because I haven't really promoted it. But yeah, but. Please check it out. Thank you for absolutely for including me in this process. It's a honor to be here, to be part of one of the largest web fests in the world. Like it's such a great show that you guys put on, of course, and I'm looking forward to checking out Dr. Good Vibes and Bruno. I forgot the name of yours. Oh, you're muted.
American Ghost Hunter in Prague.
American Ghost Hunter in Prague. I'm looking forward to checking out both of those. Please check out Felix Space Pirates on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those good ones, and YouTube. And hopefully you gotta love that life of pirate, and I'll see you out there. Please check it out. And new episodes coming December 28th.
All right, I'm gonna jump in. Thank you to everyone who attended Rio Webfest and checked out our online panel. We love you. We're nothing without you. Our audience is everything. Yeah, check out Dr. Good Vibes. Check out Felix Space Pirate. Check out An American Ghost Hunter in Prague. Check out the work of cool people who, thanks to Rio Webfest, you have had a chance to connect with and get a look inside the minds of. Yeah, we're most active on Instagram. We have a Patreon too. It's full of bloopers and behind the scenes commentary where me and Ramon talk about the episode we made for an hour and get really navel gazy and talk about how talented the other one is. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can get it for $3. It's a hot deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, just thanks to Rio Webfest. Thanks to everyone for listening, and Jonah and Bruno. Really great to hear about your shows. I can't wait to check them out. Get in there, Ramon.
Yeah, I think you basically said everything, but no, thanks so much for Rio Webfest for taking on board Dr. Good Vibes. We'd heard so much about you, and it is truly just an honor to be a part of like such esteemed podcast and content creators alike. And yeah, even though it's 3 a.m., it's we wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now because it is such an amazing festival, and we've seen so much of your output. So no, thank you, and please support Dr. Good Vibes and American Vampire Hunter and Space Pirate Radio. And yeah, no, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Rio Webfest is more than awards. It's a festival for connecting the creators and make networking, and that's why we are here. So I'm really glad to have you guys here in this reunion. Wish you luck in the awards for tomorrow for everyone. And thank you. I will finish in Portuguese now, okay? Olá, pessoal, muito obrigado por assistir o painel. Lembrando que no Rio Webfest, com patrocínio exclusivo da Petrobras esse ano, nós comemoramos 10 anos de edição. É um prazer estar com vocês, desejo um bom dia a todos e até a próxima. Tchau, tchau. Bye, guys.